Hi everyone, I am Asira. Welcome to Type of Thought, wherein we share ideas about how to live a happier and a more productive life. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please consider subscribing. Today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic that's known as self-talk. Rarely do we hear people talking about self-talk. We have been, told about how to communicate with others and the world. But rarely do we understand the importance of how we communicate with ourselves. So we communicate with ourselves using a mechanism that's known as self-talk. This is a voice that continuously goes in your head. We may not be aware of it, but we are continuously talking to our own selves. So self-talk can also be known as self-statements. The statements that we use to talk to ourselves. So let's understand more about the self-talk. This self-talk is divided into two components. On one hand, we have thoughts, and on the other hand, we have beliefs. For our today's video, we are going to concentrate on self-talk with reference to thoughts. In our later videos, we will understand the belief part. So, to be able to identify self-talk, it is necessary that we know what are some of the features of self-talk. Okay? So the first feature of self-talk is, they are very automatic. They are very, very automatic and rapid. They do not happen after a lot of conscious reasoning. It's not that we reason a lot before we get into self-talk. It is very automatic and rapid. It is also very fleeting. It's not constant. It keeps changing with accordance to the situation. So it is very fleeting. It is also very subjective. For each, the self-talk is going to be very different. It is also situation specific. So with every situation, the self-talk is going to be different and it's going to change a lot. Your self-talk is also something that is kind of distorted, because sometimes we assume things which we have not checked with anyone else, right? That's why sometimes your self-talk is also very distorted. On the other hand, self-talk can also get repetitive a lot. So, you might have certain usage of words that you repeat in different situations also. So, self-talk is also something that's repetitive. So, I hope you have understood now some of the features of self-talk. Now, let me explain you these features using two examples, okay? And let's see if we are able to identify these features there. So, one example could be, that you have just entered your office and you look at your boss and you exchange a smile with him and he doesn't smile back at all. He just looks through you. Immediately an automatic thought comes to you that, oh God, now what's wrong with me? What have I done now? I even submitted my past assignments on time. So why this look at me? Maybe he's really frustrated at me. He just doesn't want to, acknowledge my efforts. Why, I am being subject to his, disapproval. So these are some of the thoughts that you are thinking, which are automatic, which are kind of repetitive also maybe. They are distorted because we haven't really checked with him. Are you thinking like this? We haven't checked. That's why they are distorted. They are fleeting and also specific to the situation with your boss. This is one example, okay? The second example that we can, try to, talk about is, for example, you enter your office and you see an extra pile of work on your desk and you have to complete it before leaving the office today. And you are like, oh gosh, this is terrible. Like, this is the most terrible thing that can happen with me. I will not be able to complete it. I think they just want to throw a lot of assignments on me because they don't like me. My other colleagues, they will never have such experiences. Only I have to do, and I am being very honest with my work, etc. etc. So here also you see it is very automatic, it's very fleeting. You're changing your self-talk from one thought to another. It's not remaining constant. It's like we are building on the self-talk, right? It's also distorted because we don't know why this pile of work has been given to us. There could be other things attached to it also. Also, this self-talk is very subjective. It's very personal to me. It's my view of the situation, right? I don't know whether it's the only view or not. That's why it is subjective. So I hope we have understood the features of self-talk through these two examples. And now is the important point, that how to identify the self-talk. So we have to maybe ask certain questions to ourselves to identify this self-talk. Let me tell you that this self-talk that we do, it's like breathing. So we continuously breathe, but we are not aware of it. We are not consciously aware, though it happens continuously. So unless we are mindful about our breathing, we are not very much aware of it. So a very similar thing with self-talk also. We have to bring our attention to this self-talk. This is a very important point because self-talk can go unnoticed at times. It's very, very impulsive. So these are the two questions that I'm going to tell you, which will help you to identify this self-talk. First question is, what am I thinking right now? So right now when I see an extra pile of work on my desk, what I am thinking? Or what am I telling myself about this extra pile of work? Or with regard to the first example, what I am telling myself when my boss didn't smile back at me? So these are the two questions that will help you to jot down your self-talk. Okay? So I hope you have understood how to identify the self-talk. Now let's look at what does the self-talk actually do to us. So when we get into the self-talk like my boss doesn't approve of me, I'm feeling really very angry. I'm getting angry at him. So I engage in certain actions like snapping at him or just ignoring him. These are the behaviors that I engage in. With the example of extra pile of work, and then also I'm again getting very, very angry at my colleagues. They don't have to go through anything like this, but I have to. So I can plot something against them behaviorally, or I verbally abuse them, or I get into crime behaviors also sometimes, right? So these are the behaviors that I engage in with reference to the self-talk. So again, an important point over here that your self-talk actually determines the way you feel and the way you act on your feeling. That's why it is important to be aware of our self-talk. I hope you have liked our video, and if you have liked, please put a thumbs up. Now I'm going to ask you, have you ever caught yourself making a negative comment about your own self or others? And after you made that negative comment, how did you feel? So to answer this question, please leave a comment in our comment section. And I hope you have liked our video today. Thanks.